Have you ever asked yourself this simple question? Is honey safe for someone with diabetes? It might seem harmless. After all, honey is natural, it comes from bees, and it's often praised for its healing powers. Many people believe it's a healthy alternative to sugar. But for people over 60 living with type 2 diabetes, the truth is a little more complicated. So even though it's not refined white sugar, it still has the potential to spike your blood sugar. And if you're already managing diabetes, especially at an older age, at the same time, some studies and personal stories suggest that honey, in small amounts, may actually offer some health benefits, like reducing inflammation or even helping with cholesterol. Some say it gives them more stable energy compared to regular sugar. Others say it helps them sleep or soothe their digestion. So who's right and who should stay away? That's exactly what we're going to explore in today's video. You'll learn the real benefits of honey, supported by science. You'll also hear about the risks, especially for seniors managing type 2 diabetes. And most importantly, we'll go over how to use honey safely and effectively, including how much is too much and how to combine it with meals without spiking your blood sugar. Before we dive in, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to Healthy Aging with Nutrition for more easy-to-follow, science-backed tips to help seniors live their healthiest, longest lives. Now that we've raised the big question, whether honey is good or bad for people with diabetes, let's start by looking at the positive side. The surprising benefits of honey for diabetics. When people hear the word honey, most immediately think of sweetness, comfort, and nature. It's often used in tea, spread on toast, or even added to warm milk before bedtime. But beyond the taste and tradition, honey holds some surprising health benefits, even for people living with type 2 diabetes. That may sound unusual, especially since honey is a form of sugar. But the key lies in how it behaves inside the body compared to processed sweeteners like table sugar. Unlike refined white sugar, honey is made by bees through a natural process that leaves behind more than just sweetness. Raw or unfiltered honey contains antioxidants, enzymes, trace minerals, and anti-inflammatory compounds. These components, especially flavonoids and polyphenols, are known to fight oxidative stress, which is a major contributor to chronic diseases, including diabetes and heart disease. This means that in small and controlled amounts, honey may offer some protective health effects beyond what typical sugar could ever provide. More importantly, several scientific studies suggest that honey may lead to a slower rise in blood sugar when compared to regular sugar. In one clinical study published in the Journal of Medicinal Food, participants with type 2 diabetes who consumed honey experienced smaller spikes in their blood glucose levels than those who consumed equal amounts of sucrose. The reason for this may lie in honey's unique ratio of glucose to fructose and how it interacts with other nutrients during digestion. While it still raises blood sugar, it may do so more gently, which is especially helpful for older adults who need to avoid sharp spikes and crashes. Beyond blood sugar, honey has also been studied for its effects on cholesterol and inflammation, two factors that commonly affect people over 60. A 2020 study found that regular consumption of moderate amounts of honey helped improve HDL cholesterol, the good kind, and lower C-reactive protein, a marker of inflammation. This is especially meaningful for diabetic seniors because inflammation and poor lipid profiles often go hand in hand with complications like heart disease and nerve damage. While honey is not a cure, it may offer support when included as part of a healthy, balanced diet. Honey's benefits may also extend to digestion and gut health, areas often overlooked in diabetic care. Raw honey has gentle prebiotic properties, which means it can feed the good bacteria in your gut. For older adults with slower digestion or occasional bloating, this can be a welcome bonus. A healthier gut may improve blood sugar control indirectly, as recent research shows a strong connection between gut bacteria and insulin sensitivity. So a small spoon of honey in your morning tea might be doing more than just sweetening your drink. It could be nourishing your microbiome. To illustrate how this can work in real life, let me share the story of James, a 70-year-old retiree managing type 2 diabetes. He decided to replace the teaspoon of sugar in his oatmeal with raw, organic honey. He didn't change anything else in his routine. No new diet, no medication changes. After 3 months, his H1C remained steady, but he noticed he had fewer cravings between meals, better digestion, and more consistent morning energy. For James, the small shift from refined sugar to raw honey didn't harm his health, it gently supported it. Of course, honey is not a magic food. It doesn't lower blood sugar on its own, and it must be used in moderation. But what we can see from research and real-life experience is this: when used carefully, in the right amount, and at the right time, honey may offer some modest but meaningful health benefits, even for seniors living with diabetes. It all depends on context, dosage, and what you pair it with. That said, every sweetener has its limits. And while honey may seem harmless, it can still cause problems if misused. So now that we've explored the positive side, it's time to look at the other half of the story, the risks and hidden dangers of honey for diabetics over 60.
The hidden dangers of honey for diabetics over 60. Honey may appear gentle and golden, but its sweetness deserves respect, especially if you're managing diabetes past the age of 60. While it's true that raw, unprocessed honey can have a slightly lower glycemic index than table sugar, this doesn't make it harmless. For seniors with slower metabolism and decreased insulin sensitivity, even a natural sugar like honey can quietly push blood sugar levels higher than expected, particularly when used too often or without balance. In fact, the glycemic impact of honey isn't a fixed number. It depends on many variables: the floral source, how the honey was processed, whether it's raw or commercial, and what you eat it with. Clover honey, for example, tends to have a higher glycemic index than buckwheat honey. But even the best honey, when consumed in excess or without fiber, can spike your glucose. The real danger is not in the honey itself, but in misunderstanding how easily its sugars enter the bloodstream when eaten alone or in large amounts. Another overlooked risk is how honey is used. Unlike sugar, which many people carefully measure, honey is often added liberally. A swirl over oatmeal, a squeeze into tea, a generous drizzle on toast. These small moments add up. 1 tablespoon of honey contains 17 grams of sugar, more than a standard glucose tablet. If taken throughout the day without monitoring, this can quietly nudge your blood sugar above target levels. And because it doesn't cause symptoms right away, it's easy not to notice until lab results show the consequences. There's also the issue of hidden sugars. Many store-bought honey products are not pure. They may be cut with glucose syrup or processed at high heat, stripping away natural enzymes and antioxidants. These adulterated honeys don't provide the benefits of raw honey and may act more like processed sugar. Unfortunately, the label doesn't always tell the truth. For seniors who assume all honey is healthy, this can lead to unintended harm.
Perhaps the most subtle risk is the false sense of security. Marketing around honey
especially organic or natural varieties, can create the impression that it's completely safe for diabetics. But make no mistake, honey is still a sugar, and for a diabetic body, the source of sugar matters less than the quantity and context. Have you ever bought honey that turned out to be fake? Maybe mixed with sugar or falsely advertised as diabetic-friendly? You're not alone. Share your experience in the comments below so others in our community, especially seniors, can stay informed and avoid the same mistake. Let's help each other make safer, smarter choices. When eaten in the right way, with protein, fiber, and portion control, it may not spike blood sugar dramatically, but when consumed carelessly, it can act very similarly to white sugar in the bloodstream. This is not a warning to avoid honey entirely. Rather, it's a reminder that even natural foods have limits, especially for those managing blood sugar in their 60s and beyond. Honey can be part of a thoughtful diabetic diet, but only when used sparingly and only when you understand how it fits into your full nutritional picture.
How to use honey safely and effectively. Let's face a sweet truth. Completely avoiding sweet tastes for the rest of your life is not realistic, especially if you've grown up enjoying a bit of honey in your tea or drizzled over toast. The good news is, you don't have to give it up entirely. But here's the catch. It's not about if you use honey, it's about how and when you use it. Moderation, pairing, and timing are the 3 golden rules. Start by treating honey not as an everyday sweetener, but as an occasional craving saver. If you're diabetic and over 60, your body is more sensitive to spikes in blood sugar after meals. So instead of using honey routinely, reserve it for those moments when a sweet craving hits and you're tempted to reach for cookies or processed snacks. A half teaspoon of raw, organic honey can satisfy your sweet tooth while avoiding the blood sugar chaos that often follows refined sugar. But even a small amount of honey can have different effects depending on what you eat it with. Consuming honey alone, such as licking it off a spoon, leads to faster absorption and more noticeable glucose elevation. The trick? Always pair honey with fiber, protein, or healthy fats. For example, drizzle a 1/4 teaspoon of honey over Greek yogurt with chia seeds, or add a touch of honey into a bowl of steel-cut oats topped with almonds. These pairings slow down digestion and help prevent sharp spikes in blood sugar. Now let's talk dosage, because even natural sweetness has its limits. For most seniors with type 2 diabetes, the safe maximum intake of honey is about 1 teaspoon per day, ideally divided and consumed with meals. This amount provides antioxidant and anti-inflammatory benefits without tipping your glucose levels into dangerous territory. And remember, just because it's a natural sugar doesn't mean it's sugar-free. It still counts toward your total daily carbohydrate intake. Finally, timing matters. The best time to include honey, if you choose to, is after physical activity or as part of a balanced breakfast. Avoid it late at night or between meals when your body isn't metabolically active. And always monitor your blood sugar. If you notice a pattern of elevated levels after consuming honey, even in small amounts, it may be time to eliminate it altogether. In short,
Honey can be part of a diabetic-friendly diet, but it should be used intentionally, not casually. Like seasoning and cooking, a little goes a long way. Use it wisely, use it rarely, and pair it smartly. That's the secret to enjoying honey without harming your health.
To wrap things up, honey isn't your enemy, but it isn't your everyday sweet treat either, especially if you're living with diabetes after 60. It deserves your attention, your awareness, and most of all, your moderation. Yes, a small drizzle of raw, unprocessed honey can bring some gentle benefits, like antioxidants and a natural pick-me-up when your energy dips. But don't be fooled, it's still sugar. And when used too freely, even something natural can nudge your blood sugar upward in ways that are easy to miss. So what's the smarter way forward? Keep it small. Think teaspoons, not tablespoons. Never combine honey with other high-carb foods like white bread or rice. And most importantly, use it with purpose, not out of habit, but as a mindful choice when you're truly craving something sweet. Don't fall for the hype of all-natural or diabetic-safe labels. What matters most isn't just what the label says, it's how it fits into your body, your meals, and your overall lifestyle. If this video helped clear up the sweet confusion around honey, go ahead and share it with a friend or family member who might be struggling with similar choices. And if you want more simple, science-based guidance on eating well with diabetes in your 60s and beyond, don't forget to subscribe. We're here to help you live a life that's not just healthier, but also sweeter in the right way.